Welcome back to the video, guys. My name is Chad. This is part 2 of Jay Weidner talking with Mike Adams about the plasma beings. You asked for it. Here it is.
They want to have contact with us, is what I think.
So,
and I don't know what that will bring.
Based on your description of them, at least as I'm understanding it here, it would stand to reason that they would exist around other planets as well, not just Earth.
They exist around the moon. There's several astronomers have photographed them zooming around on the surface of the above the surface of the moon. So yes, they are. They're on all planets. I think they're everywhere. I think the entire universe is filled with them, and I think that we are the kind of the species that really is not part of the universe as much as they are.
We are the meat sacks. We are. we are the meat sacks trying to figure out what's going on with the molecules. Okay.
Yeah.
So then, just back to my original question, what do you suppose the government is planning on doing with its so-called disclosure? Is it going to be a false flag, a deep fake, a psyop, or what are they planning on doing?
If you didn't watch the first part, it's not going to make much sense. But basically, Jay Weidner believes that 99.9% of the universe is created out of plasma, which is the fourth state of matter. It's basically atoms that have either lost or gained an electron. I mean, but he really believes that plasma is a being and conscious. And there is truth in that the whole universe is conscious, but I don't think it's exactly in the way he's saying. Some of you surprised me because in the last video, a lot of you in the comment section really vibed with what Jay was saying. So that's why I wanted to put out this part too.
Well, they'll probably do something stupid like have a fake alien invasion, or something like that. I don't trust anybody in the government. I don't even trust that Luna lady. I don't think she knows what she's talking about. And I don't think any of them know what they're talking about. And that's why I think it is the orbs. So I don't know why they don't want us to know about the orbs. So I don't know if there's some kind of special information that orbs will give us or what, but I just don't believe that the aliens are landing.
Yeah, they did a massive cover-up of the orbs. Yeah, I mean, people were witnessing the orbs over military bases and over airports I think it was for many weeks.
Yes.
And then we were immediately told at some point, the whole story pivoted. We were told, no, those are just people's drones flying around and things like that.
No, and why are they? Why?
No, dude, I fly drones. The orbs are definitely not drones. You know, there's a lot of different possibilities for aliens. They could be coming back from the future. They could be living somewhere else on Earth. They could be coming from the stars. It could be advanced military technology from another country. It could be advanced military technology from America. It could be that these UFOs are coming from lands far away, if you're a flat Earth believer, beyond the ice wall. So, and it could be that they're interdimensional. There's a lot of different ideas about what they could be.
Why are the drones watching the military bases and the nuclear power plants and nuclear rocket areas? Because they're worried, because they're going to die. If we go crazy and some general does a Dr. Strangelove and goes crazy, then we're all going to die. They're all going to die, but they don't want to die. They like it here. They love coming here. This is a beautiful place to them. And what I hope that they're trying to do is teach us to appreciate where we live and to appreciate each other, because this is just bullshit. And what's going on in Iran, I'm sorry, it's just bullshit.
Well, it is. And we're on the verge of mad men, one in particular, launching a nuclear war on the world right now under the influence of Netanyahu. I mean, it's insane.
It is insane. And again, people that don't understand the true nature of this reality seek to destroy it. And those who know what's going on here in this reality seek to preserve it. And the ones that seek to preserve it, we just can't get any way to get power because you have to be ruthless to get in power.
I know.
And if you want to preserve it, then you're not going to be a ruthless person. So therefore, it's really going to have to be not.
One of the reasons I think is because there's a coordinated effort on the part of the elite, and this is going back hundreds of years, where they're virtually using magic and rituals and coercion and unification, while the population is very divided. And they also create a pyramid structure where only a few at the top are in the know, and they're running their scheme on us. I mean, if you look at the David Icke problem action reaction solution scenario, they have us all confused, and I don't see any way that we're going to stop them unless we truly all of us come together.
On human intelligence that influences these bad people. I don't know how they could do that. I don't know the mechanism for it, but we can't do it. I can't. I can't tell Netanyahu to stop. He's not going to listen to me.
Yeah, no, and he launches
Yeah, but you're Jay Weidner.
wars against Lebanon, literally named Eternal Darkness. It's like,
Yeah,
you're just admitting what you're all about, you know. Jay, we're out of time here, but it's truly been fascinating, and I want to invite you back to talk about your film when the release comes out. Let me give out your website, jayweidner.com. And yeah, is there anything else you want to add, Jay?
No, been a great time. Thanks.
Thank you. We appreciate your time and all your wisdom. And you've been through a lot. We all have, but you especially, you know, the people that you work with and the things that you've seen and witnessed, you've been through a lot. And I really honor your experience and your wisdom on this. So thank you for your time.
Well, I appreciate you, Mike. You're a real guy who not afraid to talk about the crappy health system that we're living under.
Well, isn't that the truth? Yeah, and so much more. But thank you, Jay. Have a great rest of your day.
All right, I found another clip of Jay Weidner. This is the Typical Skeptic podcast with my buddy Rob. He's been on the show a number of times. I've been on his show. He's a prolific interviewer. He brings so many people on his show. Very interesting guy. And he's interviewing Jay here. So let's watch a little bit of this because it's very interesting. He asks him about Artemis and UFOs. That's all I've seen. I haven't seen much of it.
The moon landing or the not moon landing. So I kind of wanted to touch on that, but I wanted to touch on Artemis first and Artemis too. Like, you know, when I had other people on, they think that it's a total fake. Like, I mean, and maybe you didn't research it like intensely yet, but like, do you have any like takeaways right away that you know?
Yeah, I want to say I made a video on that about a month and a half ago or so where I talked about Artemis being possibly fake. But I know something blasted off. I don't know if it went to space.
Noticed about the Artemis too, and do you think it was fake? And do you think we ever went to the moon? Like,
I don't know. I think we did, but we didn't use the equipment that we think that we have. We used advanced equipment that was developed by the Germans at the end of World War II and then confiscated by the United States in Project Paperclip. And it's electrogravitic. Most of the
Project Paperclip is when all the German scientists came over and worked for America. You know, so they're the ones that helped develop the atomic bomb, and even the head of the German, I guess, military space program became the head of NASA. You know, I think his name was like von Braun or something like that.
hard UFOs that people see is probably our equipment, our U.S. military equipment, and so what we saw with Apollo was Stanley Kubrick directing on a soundstage. Probably the blimp hangar north of London, near Stanley Kubrick's house. Gigantic blimp hangar in which Buzz Aldrin and Neil Armstrong were both seen in the blimp hangar by a person who said they'd taken the whole entire blimp area and put sand in there and made it look like the moon. And they were rehearsing, he said. So I think that Artemis, here's the ironic thing about all this, is the guy that started the new flat earth theory his name, he's a Canadian, he's from Toronto.
Eric Dubay.
He was working as a contract worker in Houston at NASA. And he says that he got called into a room and all these high up in NASA laid out the flat Earth map in front of him and said, this is the way our planet really looks. Then he went off and told everybody and got the whole thing moving. A very interesting story. So I think Artemis is, strangely enough, some kind of bad theater by NASA to try to convince us that we did go to the moon and that they really are out in outer space, right? And
wait a minute. So you're telling me that Jay Weidner is a flat earther?
But when you start, first of all, how do they get through the Van Allen belts? By their own assessment, NASA has sent Geiger counters up into the Van Allen belt numerous times. It is lethal up there. You get up about 50,000, about 120,000 feet, and it's friggin' lethal. I mean, the radiation is out to lunch. So how do they get through that? And why does NASA say they can't go through the Van Allen radiation belt unless you have 2 meters, that's 6 feet of lead shield? Otherwise, you're going to fry your brains out, right? No, they didn't fry their brains out. None of the astronauts actually got cancer. None of them, not the 12 that went into Apollo and not these guys, right? And then there's just where's all the images?
Yeah.
Modern technology.
It's all, people say it's all CGI images. If you look at it, it does look fake to me, actually.
Technology that could take, they should have had a camera in front of the thing, a camera on the back of the thing. We should have seen the whole trip all the time in real time.
Yep.
We should have been able to see outside the craft. We should have been, what the hell are you doing, guys? You know? And so in the end, I just like, okay, this is theater. I don't care.
For me, I wonder if they are faking it, and they probably are. Why are they doing such a bad job?
Can't come up with any other thing. This is just theater. And that's what I think. I think it's just more of the same. NASA stands for never a straight answer.
So what do you think, like, if you had to guess, what do you think NASA's hiding? Do you think there's actually stuff on the moon, Mars, or do you think like we've been there with other technology, like stuff we've reverse engineered or from entities or something like that? It doesn't necessarily have to be aliens, but it could be some kind of, or where's your stance on all that?
Yeah, I think there's stuff all over the place. I know there is. I've seen it. I've seen the photographs with the stuff on it. I spent probably 2.5 years with Richard Hoagland going to all the NASA facilities and going through all the film.
So sorry to stop it, but Richard Hoagland has been writing books since, I believe, the 80s, talking about the monument on Mars and the face on Mars and pyramids on Mars and even on the moon. And David Wilcock, in a lot of his books, talks about structures on the dark side of the moon, on Mars, and in other places in the solar system. So it's interesting that, you know, Jay's theory, because in one way he talks like a flat earther, and the other way he talks like a globe earther.
Video, photographs, everything. He was doing it to prove that there were alien artifacts on the moon. I was doing it to find out if this was real or not, right? Because that was a bone of contention between us. And so, you know, I'd say, well, I don't know. I don't know if they really went to the moon. Because how did they stand the radiation? First off, beyond any doubt, you cannot take a photograph on the lunar surface. Okay? It took me 8 hours to get Grok to tell me that. But I finally, after an 8-hour argument with Grok, I finally got Grok to say, nah, you're right. There's too much radiation on the moon. It would have fogged all the film. I was like, bingo. And so you can't take photographs on the moon. They were using Ektachrome film, real thin Ektachrome, so they could get a lot of film into the canister, right? So they had a special, real thin layer of it. And so it would even fogged easier. The Hasselblad cameras, Hasselblad themselves have said, we did not modify the cameras that went to the moon. So they didn't have special lead shielding on them or anything. The minute that you took the shutter, opened the shutter, radiation would come right through that shutter and fog the film. Period. There's no doubt about it. And it's scientifically proven. So they can't take photographs on the moon. They had to have known they can't take photographs on the moon, right? All right.
And if you want to see more of a breakdown of why we didn't go to the moon, and I'm not saying we didn't go to the moon, but check out Eric Dubé because he has a video. It's a long video, but it goes into all the different proofs. It's also in his books. But a couple of things stand out to me. Like, for example, the moon rocks, they were actually labeled A, B, C. Also, if you play the moon landings at twice the speed, it looks like they're on Earth just in a regular environment, like in a studio. It's crazy.
That's when they went to Stanley. I said, Stanley, we need your help. And so then Kubrick shot the movie 2001 as an research and development for the moon landings. So he learned how to do the moon landings by doing all the outside special effects scenes in 2001: Space Odyssey. And it was all financed by the aerospace companies. It's a little well known, but in the original credit, 2001: A Space Odyssey, they spent about 4 minutes just thanking naval intelligence, Air Force intelligence, a Raytheon company, McDonnell Douglas, right? And you're like, wait a minute, what? And then they took it out. Now these credits are gone from the movies. You can't see it. But literally, the entire military aerospace complex was backing up Kubrick in that movie, including NASA sending people to London to watch him shoot 2001. For what reason are NASA, on the middle of their Apollo program, are taking off to go to London to see a guy making movies, right? But they did. Higher up, the very high ups in NASA came. I got pictures of them with Stanley and Arthur C. Clarke. So, no, NASA's just a cover-up operation for something more deeper and high technology they do not want us to know about. And these scientists that have been dying here lately, they were like right on the edge of this, and they knew that there was something else going on. Especially that guy, the plasma physicist. Can't remember.
McCaslin. Was it McCaslin I think McCaslin.
McCaslin. Oh, geez. Yeah. No, it's I can't remember his name. He's got a funny last name. But I think he was at Princeton, head of plasma at Princeton or something. Anyway, high up guy. So what's going on, again, this actually dovetails with exactly what you were saying before about how anybody can get on the internet and have a hit show. We don't have to have, well, that's what's going on in science. That exact thing is going on in science. Now, a regular dude who actually understands gravitational gravity, right? You can just get on YouTube and start talking about it. And they are. And
yeah, and to me, okay. So what Jay was saying is NASA's a cover-up. It's a cover-up for what he believes is a secret space program. And there's been a number of people that have talked about this secret space program. I have a few books on it, and it is interesting. And it's totally against what Flat Earth talks about because obviously they completely contrast with each other. Flat Earthers don't believe that there is a real moon, there's a real universe, and there's aliens coming from outside the firmament, although that's possible. But if the United States indeed did have that technology, and they could have reversed engineered it from the aliens because there was the Greatus Treaty that was signed in the early to mid-50s with Eisenhower, then it's completely possible. I don't know if you've ever even heard of Project Serpo, where they sent about a dozen people off planet to an alien planet, and some of them came back and talked about it, and it was declassified. It wasn't declassified, but somebody spilled the beans. But what Jay is saying here about anti-gravity and about all this futuristic technology, which is really just past technology, anybody can get on it. I can just get on right now and say, hey guys, look, I have this anti-gravity coconut water I just created, and it's floating, and I'll tell you how I do it. And who's going to stop me? And yeah, maybe that video would be taken down, but so many people can copy the video and repost it and repost it and repost it. We have the internet now. Why is it so difficult to get this information out?
And so what if you can make a free energy machine for $300 at Home Depot? What if
Wow. You know what, Jay? That's what I thought. I think Carrie Cassidy said it too, and a lot of people have said that like this all has to do with free energy. And guess what I saw today? I saw an article that said Chinese scientists are disappearing too. So
Yeah.
over in China, I guess a batch of their scientists have disappeared too, which I find really odd. So it makes me think maybe these people are all in communication with each other, and maybe it does have to do with free energy. Because the way I look at it is like, if you had something so damning that could change this reality, and thinking about why we're over in the Middle East right now, which I think is, might be over oil and like this whole oil fucking market that we find ourselves in, like, but if free energy could change that, and there's people that know about that, I could see why they would want to keep that covered up,
Yeah, because what happens, I live out in the middle of nowhere, right? Like my neighbor's about a mile away from me. What happens?
That's actually probably the best place to live also when you're away from people. Probably one of the safest places.
Because if a guy out in the middle of nowhere gets free energy, a 3D printer, and uses AI, what are you suddenly capable of?
A lot.
Like everything, like making any machine, any part, anything you want, right? The AI will design it for you. The 3D printer will print it out for you. You have your own manufacturing plant in your own garage is what will happen when that happens. All free.
Okay, but what about your food though? How do you get your food?
And that is what they don't want. They don't want the one thing that the powers that be want more than anything is centralization. They don't want decentralization. And that's decentralization is the liberating force that's going on right now. And they're trying to suppress it. And so somebody who doesn't care about their life, but is really smart, is going to make a YouTube describing exactly how to make a free energy machine. And believe me, they're not very hard. I'm not a scientist, so I'm not going to get up and tell everybody how to do it. I could, but I'm not. But the physics are very easy to understand and are beyond impossible. They're not impossible at all. It's really possible. And then what happens?
I agree with Jay there because I've seen some of these free energy devices on YouTube or maybe anti-gravity, and you can just see they're not very complicated. And you would think that people would have figured it out. I'm sure people have figured it out. Maybe some people are just not coming forward with it. And of course, these people are also visited by the government and told not to release it, and they're paid off or they're put off, if you know what I mean. But yeah, I would love to have Jay on the show. I actually think I did have him on one time a couple of years ago. I think he made a documentary about JFK, that JFK was actually shot by the driver of the car, if I'm not mistaken. I have to look. But I think I had him on the show, and he was with another guy. They did the documentary together. So I may have had him on the show. Let's play it.
The oil companies go out of business.
Yeah.
The atomic nuclear power plants go out of business. All the hydroelectric dams are taken down. Yeah, a much better world.
Circling back to David, do you think David had like insider knowledge on this? Like, I know we think that
it would be a much better world for us, not for them. This is an interesting question. Now he's going to ask about David Wilcock having insider information.
The body aerospace wasn't a good thing, but like, do you think that somewhere David might have had some kind of information on this and he may have been targeted? I mean, the only reason why I say this is because people are proposing these ideas I've seen, it's crazy when someone passes away, like the amount of like theories and conspiracy theories and ideas that go around. It's like, that's crazy. And that's another reason why I wanted you to have you on today, was to like clear some of this up as well.
Yeah, I think David knows what I know, and I know how to build a free energy machine. All right. So he knows it. I know it. We talked to the same guy that did it. Right. So yeah, I think he knew how to do it. And I think that's probably, how he impressed a lot of people who on the inside, wealthy people in the know. And we got to bring up one last thing about all this, because I don't want anybody, we can't dismiss MK Ultra, because I saw a video of Dave on his show saying that he went to a special school when he was a kid, and that they did terrible things to him at this special school. right? And he learned how to become psychic at this school.
You know, when he's saying that now, it kind of harkens back to, I think David may have mentioned that in either the Ascension Mysteries or Awakening in the Dream. Interesting.
That's the GATE program. Okay. He was in the GATE program, and GATE program, these kids that were in the GATE program, they can't even remember what happened in the classroom, right? Their minds are blank, right? For all we know, they could have put a trigger in there that, whatever point they want, they can make you go crazy, right? And lose your gourd and have somebody shoot you, right? And so we can't dismiss this, because he actually admitted that he was in the GATE program. And we know the GATE program is directly connected to MK Ultra. All right. My friend Ryder Lee has a film coming out next month about this. It's a connection between MK Ultra, remote viewing, and the GATE program. And so we can't dismiss this. All of the kids that were in the GATE program either went zooming up into the world, like high in entertainment world or high in politics, like Charlie Kirk, or high up or in the business world, or they're drug addicts, bad health, depressed. So there's only two kinds of people that come out of the GATE program. And why? What's the difference between the two? The first group, the successful group, they were into it. They got into it. The other group went, I don't want anything to do with this. This isn't right, right? And so what do you do with a person who's highly psychic who doesn't like you?
You turn them into a Manchurian candidate, right?
You put them on drugs, you deaden them, you make them mentally depressed. Mental illness has skyrocketed since the GATE program started in the early 80s. And every year there's more and more mental cases out on the streets. They're all really smart people. You got to wonder what's really going on here.
Wow.
Yeah, this is interesting. They still have about 12 minutes left. Let me know if you want me to continue with this and look for other Jay Weidner clips. I mean, look, there's so much to react to on the internet. It's just really endless. Let me make myself big like the movie. Remember, I talked about that last time. I said, I want to be big. If you like this format, I'm just going to keep this format, kind of like reaction style videos. I did an interview with Vedgur Dev earlier. Actually, it's yesterday. Not too many people watched it. YouTube just didn't show it to too many people. It was a good interview, but it seems like you guys, I don't know. Half the time I wonder if it's even worth it to continue with YouTube, because YouTube's not really giving me much play, but I'm out here. I'm still trying to forge my reality and become a content creator. And I'm not getting a lot of help, but I appreciate everyone who watches the videos, who supports me, who leaves these type of comments that keep me going. And of course, if you've donated to the channel financially, thank you from the bottom of my heart, because I mean, I'm running on fumes here with YouTube views. Anyhow, yeah, I'm going to go. It's a little late for me. It's actually about 1 o'clock in the morning, but stay tuned, because I'm trying to post 2 videos a day now, doing the best I can. Thanks again for staying with me. I'll see you soon. Another good show. That's all right. No problem. We'll keep forging ahead, doing what we can.